All right. Yat A. Good evening, everyone. We are Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle this evening, and we've got our toes crossed that we're able to come through and make a connection this evening here in the land of Sayet. In Navajo, Sayet means inside the rocks. We're based in Canyon de Chelly at the Sacred Lodge grounds here. I'd like to start off by acknowledging our ancestors in the Netra, in the Navajo lands, the ancestors here. So let's thank you for having us here, everyone. This evening, it's an honor to be back home on the reservation. So just touching. It's beautiful to be back here on the reservation. So we'd like to take this time to acknowledge Linda Lomaheftua, who has decided to join us this evening to be a part of our Wisdom Circle. Linda Lomaheftua is an amazing artist. She is Indigenous and hails from the Choctaw and Hopi tribes and has worked at the Institute of American Indian Arts for many years. And this evening we'd like to go ahead and welcome Linda. Woo-hoo! Thank you, Linda, for joining us this evening. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And we'll get started.
Okay, Halito. I'm Linda Lomaheftua. I'm Hopi and Choctaw. I was born in Arizona, Phoenix, and lived in the Phoenix area. My parents met in boarding school, so that's why the tribes are mixed. My mother is originally from Oklahoma, and my father is from Second Mesa, Shunopavie village in Arizona. So I lived in Phoenix, and then my father got a job in California, so we moved to California and lived there for about 7 years, and then moved back to Arizona, and then I started going to boarding school with my older brother and sister, and that was in Holbrook, Arizona. Let's see. From there, I went to the Phoenix Indian boarding school, and I went there for 1 year, and that was in 1961. And when I was at the Phoenix Indian boarding school, I think it was in the spring. My mother called me and said, "I read in the paper that they're going to start a new Indian art school. Do you want to go?" Because my whole life I've always done my artwork, and even though I have I grew up with two brothers and a sister, and later another brother came along. We all, I was always the one that was, I guess, drawing a lot and making things. So they called me the artist of the family. So anyway, and my whole family encouraged me to do my art. When my mother told me about the Institute of American Indian Arts starting up in 1962, she asked me if I wanted to go, and I said yes. So I came to Santa Fe and was one of the first students to start at the Institute of American Indian Arts. So that was a whole new experience for me. Tribes from all the nations came, and it was just a great experience of meeting everyone from all over the different nations. We all shared our stories together and made artwork together in school, and so it was a very good experience.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. I did not realize, Linda, that you were the first group of the class of 1962 that started at IA the year it started. That is amazing.
Yeah.
How large was your first class of students that showed up?
I can't even remember. I think it was like about,
Or
I don't know, 15, 15 in a classroom. But we also had a lot of classes that were team taught. So it was like a whole, like a lecture room almost full of students. So it was a whole combination of the high school program and then again, courses that were team taught, which were uh, the cultural studies courses. And, it was like a lecture room and we had all the different instructors come in and talk about um, their background as being Native.
wow, that is so cool. So you were there when Alan Hauser was he one of the first instructors there as well?
Yes, Alan Hauser, Ottilie Lolema, Charles Lolema, Fritz Shoulder, um, who else? Mrs. Rapp, Mrs. Josephine Rapp.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
Mm, it was all the First Native instructors that we had.
Oh, that is
Powerful.
so amazing. So was Ed Wapp, Ed Wapp was the musicologist at Institute of American Indian Arts for a long time. Beautiful Comanche, full blood from Oklahoma. Was Ed Wapp a part of this class too?
No, he came later to teach. I don't think he ever went to IA, but he
Oh,
came
okay,
later to
okay.
teach. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, as you went into this school, were you already immersed in painting, or had you decided on a medium yet, or were you still in the thinking period? When did you
Oh,
start your painting?
when I first attended I came with the intention that I thought I was going to be a commercial artist. So all my of course the high school academic program and then the art classes were I took a lot of lettering classes and uh, drawing classes with Kay Weiss, photographer. She taught that course. So I was thinking I was going to be a commercial artist, which today is graphic design. And
Oh,
my last year of high school, my faculty advisor, Jim McGrath, said, with the way that I'm working, he said, why don't you try going into fine arts and take painting? So I said, okay. So that's how I started painting. It was my last year of high school. So in the studios that we were like sectioned off into kind of cubicles like, but
mm-hmm.
we were all in the room together. Um, and I remember like Phyllis Fife and uh, Earl Biss, Earl Eder, Kevin Red Star, Hank Gobin. There was several of us in the studio working together. So we all kind of helped each other with our ideas and painting, and everything was provided for us, all the materials, paints, canvas, anything, brushes, everything we needed provided for us. So when I graduated from high school, again, my faculty advisor said, why don't you go on to a fine arts college? So um, the San Francisco Art Institute was one of the colleges that he recommended. So I said, okay, I'll go there. And my parents wanted me to go there too because it was closer to Arizona in California.
So let me ask you, when you say high school, um, Santa Fe Indian School / Institute of American Indian Arts, old campus established in the late 1880s. Was it Santa Fe High School still, or was it art school, or what was the status of the of Institute of American Arts in 1962 when you got there? Had you already graduated from high school, or did you finish
No,
high
I,
school?
I came in as a 10th grader, uh, and that was in 1962, the fall, and then and that was with IAIA. The Indian school was still going on, so it was like we shared the campus together. So they had their program and we had our program. Um,
Good clarity for there. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So I'm really curious about your early years at IAIA. Can you talk just a little bit about that? What was that like? I mean, I know you mentioned some stuff, but I'm just like amazed at the history of the Institute of American Indian Arts and all the artists that you mentioned so far: Earl Biss, Fritz Shoulder, Alan Hauser, some of the students. I know Joy Harjo was there, Karita Coffee. What was it like back then
uh,
compared to now? Yeah.
so yeah, Karita came a year after I started, and we became friends, and we still are today. Um, Joy Harjo didn't come till after I left, so I didn't know her as a student, but the others I did. Because when I went to San Francisco at the Art Institute, there was a group of us that all went together as well. So that was like a good support group. Again, Kevin Red Star, Doug Hyde, Earl Biss, Earl Eder, Carol Fraser was already out there in San Francisco. So that support group was really helpful and kept me in school, kept me going. Um, but again, like that experience of being around everyone and all their different cultural ways was really a whole good experience of learning from each other uh, the stories of our people.
Yeah, because 62, 63, 64 was, when civil rights was in full swing and music took a big turn from big band, Dadaism, and poetry with Allen Ginsberg came around, and all of a sudden the rules of poetic genres changed, and so much was happening. The Vietnam War was happening. So I imagine a lot of the Native American students that showed up and congregated in one area, not only for living, but for education and creative purposes. I imagine that there must have been a real sense of camaraderie, like, we've got this. Let's create, let's paint. Tell us
Yeah,
a little bit about. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the civil rights and all that, Vietnam and all that started when I was in San Francisco. So there was a lot of, like peace marches,
Oh,
and um, that was like in '65 on, so um, at the IA campus, that didn't happen until later. And I was in San Francisco at the time.
oh, so you were in San Francisco in '65?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think my mom was there then too, and she's on with us tonight. Hi, Mom. We're in the same town. She's like across town from us right now. Yeah, I think my mom was in San Francisco in '65. I wasn't born yet, but so out of all those artists and teachers, who inspired you to paint, and how did you learn to paint? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, actually, when I in the painting, when I was taking painting, I just like I said, we kind of like uh, watched how each other painted and picked up different techniques, like doing textures and applying paint. So we kind of all learned from each other. Um, but I I always kind of went back to thinking about people that I really admired their work was Fred Caboti from our village at Hopi, and I really liked his paintings and how he portrayed the dances, the ceremonies, the people in the village. So I always thought about that, and I, again, thinking about um, the seasonal ceremonies that take place at Hopi. I thought about a lot of that and how I could use that in my those images of ceremonies in my work. And my work isn't really, it's not realistic, it's abstract. So colors and design, I pay attention to a lot of that.
In the newsletter that I put out a few days ago, leading up to this wonderful event tonight, I talked about the countless students, undergrads and grads, that have studied your work. And I said worldwide because that's what I heard. So tell us about when you left IAIA and went with that basic, you had something, you had some technique, you had some skill, and then you went into your Art Institute experience. Can you talk about what that was like, going from little Santa Fe to big city San Francisco, and how did that city experience influence your artwork, or did it influence your artwork, or all the stuff, as you said, the civil rights stuff that was going on, and then of course there was the hippie movement and all these amazing performers that were congregating, Janis Joplin and so forth. You tell us a little bit about that. That is.
Yeah, when I first went to San Francisco, my first experience of being in a big city like that, it was very scary. I didn't, it was just scary. You have to find your own place to live. Um, but the thing that kept me going was that support group of the other Native students that were there, because we all were in the same boat together. We all had to find our way around in the school and find our living, housing. So knowing that the group was at the school reassured me that I could do this too. So once I got to the school and started in with the classes and everything, having that support group of those guys, everyone was really helpful. What was I going to say? I forgot what the other question was you asked.
Well, there was a lot of stuff happening in San Francisco. I'm an avid reader, and what really turns me on is history, especially Native American history. So I read a lot about San Francisco. And I know that San Francisco is one of the hubs that the federal government moved Native Americans, and I think it was the 1954 Relocation Act, where they took a lot of indigenous people like Dennis Banks and some of those guys off the reservation and relocated them to get them to learn a trade or something like that. And I know that San Francisco was a big place for an Indian center there. And then the Alcatraz thing happened, where there was some kind of some Native Americans said, "Oh, the treaty says unoccupied federal territory can become taken by Native Americans can move there." Were you a part of that, or did you know that was going on at the time? Like John Trudell and all those guys that went out to hang out on Alcatraz. Did you go there or experience any of that?
Yeah, I knew all that was going on, and I did go to the island a couple of times, but I was in school, so I couldn't stay
Yeah.
there and protest with everyone else. I just went just to see what it was like over there, and but I used my artwork for some of the fundraising things that they had, art shows to raise money to help them with the food costs and everything.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I don't know if you have had a chance to read Tommy Orange's book, There. There's oh, you did read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some really nice excerpts of the island. So I went, man, he must have studied the whole grounds there or had some relatives there at the time, because it is fiction, but it just kind of took me there, and it was beautiful. Yeah, it was really cool. So let's move into your experience. I know we're running out of time very quickly here, So let's move into your becoming an artist. And before we move into your teaching experience, as you learn the art and all the techniques and colors and texture and all that stuff, did you also get some kind of marketing training to be able to do like a business and get yourself out there? Did any of that come? How did that look like back then? Because I know they have that at IA now.
They do at IA now, but at the Art Institute, we didn't get any of that, and
Oh,
we didn't get any of that, and I didn't get any of that in the high school program at IA. But they did. I think they did have a small business course, but I never took that one. Um, and I think that was
hmm.
more for postgraduate students. But at the Art Institute, we were discouraged from selling our work, so it was mainly just art for art's sake. So all the paintings I did were for my classes, for my courses. Um, so I had to learn the hard way. And the thing is, even though it was discouraged to sell your work, the group of us that were there, we were uh, we were getting invited to be in art shows because we're young contemporary Native artists, so we would have art shows, in DC and some in the Bay Area. Um, so and then some at some of the universities. So and we did sell our work, so that really helped. Um, you know, with being able to pay our rent and buy supplies.
Absolutely, and the best of the best. Oh my God, Earl Biss, are you kidding? I mean, that guy was just woo, wild child, but his paintings were just woo. I loved Earl Biss. I actually met him in a restaurant when I was working at Steaksmith, and
Uh,
I said, "Are you Native American?" I was his cocktail waitress, and he looked at me and he went like that, and I went, "What tribe are you?" And he goes, "Caw, caw." And I go, "Are you a crow?" That was the kind of guy he was then. So yeah, so that's amazing. Yeah, because we hired a student for our summer festivals in Santa Fe
uh,
from IA to do some videography work and editing from the IA cinematography department.
uh-huh.
And I said, "Would you mind sending me your resume?" And oh my God, Linda, he sent us a resume and it was just like completely digital and it was a whole new experience. And I went, wow, this kid is the top marketing, how to get his work out there. I told him, I said, "You're going to have a big career in cinematography." Because when I looked at his work, I just went, man, this kid, he's got the eye, he's got the professional marketing background. He's like 19 years old, right? So,
Wow.
yeah, that's pretty impressive that IA's doing that for the students these days. It's like, it's a whole different world of technology now. It's like Gen
It
Z
sure
now. Is
is.
that what it's called? Gen Z?
Yeah, it sure is. And with social media, that's really helpful too, because you can get your work out more than um, you know, back when I was first started, all we had was slides that we would send out, So there wasn't social media. It's much faster now. But yeah, they have a good background, and
Uh,
they have good courses for business and um, teaching the students how to market your work.
that is that is that is key because a big a big room full of art and nowhere to sell it. It's like that kind of, I've heard stories like that too. So now for real, moving into your teaching career, did being a Native American with a really strong foundation such as what you have, I mean Choctaw and Hopi, I mean those two tribes, oh my God, did that influence you being a teacher, having Native American students, do you think? I know, of course, IA is open. Let's just get that out there. IA is open and welcomes everyone, but we know that the majority of the students are Native American and, of course, exchange students from all over the world. Did that influence you in any way?
For teaching, um,
Yeah.
I, I I hope that it did. I mean, I hope that being a native instructor was helpful to the students because I always try to encourage the students again to use their cultural background for ideas for anything, any form of art, whether it's writing or photography or painting or drawing. You know, it's uh, we all have strong stories to tell about our history of our people. So there's so much information that you can use in many art forms. So I didn't get asked too many questions because you're teaching a course of study that there it's basically learning about techniques and things. So, but whenever I could, I would always talk about my background.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah. The qualifiers, absolutely, because a lot of us Native Americans, when we get to IAIA, we have no trust. It's like, whoa, coming off the res, and it's like, why should we trust you, and why should you trust me, and that kind of thing. But just going, Choctaw Hopi, and it's like, oh yeah, right on, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, that beautiful piece behind you, that's your work, I'm assuming.
No, that's my brother's work, Dan Lomahaftaway, and
Oh,
he was
oh,
living
it's
here in
nice. I
Portugal.
love the colors.
Yeah, he passed away in 2005, but uh, this painting is about well, he was married up at northern Utah, uh, at Fort Duchesne, and so he was able to go to a lot of the petroglyph sites up in that area, and this is from one of the areas of one of the petroglyphs that was, as you can see, it was graffitied over, and that's what he was trying to say, that here's this beautiful petroglyph site, and then the people that own this land wrote on top of this petroglyph, do not waste the petroglyphs. It was just a crazy thing. But this is
Wow. That reminds me of one time I was on tour with Elena through Australia. We went to Uluru, Uluru, and there's this big rock there. They call it the male rock, the Aborigines, sign for Aborigines. And they we went, and we were so excited to be at Uluru, the rock, right? Ayers Rock. And I saw this group of people and this guy talking about the petroglyphs inside, and it was various handprints and Aborigine art. So I just jumped in there, and I was just standing there listening to him, and then I asked him a question, and he looked at me and he said, "You're not part of this group." And then he went on talking and wouldn't acknowledge me. And as a Native American going all the way to Australia to go see this rock, I was kind of hurt. So I saw this guy, he was an Aboriginal guy, an elder, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey mate, thank you for welcoming us into your country." I said, "Can you tell me about that artwork?" And he just went off, and he started talking about the ancestors and the art, and I got it straight from the Aboriginal man. And then he started telling me a bunch of other stuff, which I won't talk about right now because it's your show tonight. But that was really interesting. Yeah, that happened. So, let's talk about you, Linda. Throughout your phases from high school, taking on painting, to your San Francisco art experience, I know painters like Rachel Pablo, one of our board members, has studied you extensively and your movements throughout the generations that you've been painting, which is 60 plus years and still going strong. Yes, Linda, can you talk to us a little about some of those different changes that have happened within your with your artistic momentum, like your styles, and can you talk about any influences on that?
Yeah. Well, I have to say that, like, when I was in San Francisco, in the classes, you have to, we had models in all the classes. So, I did all that. And then I got to a point um, where I was homesick a lot too. So I thought about Arizona and the sunsets and seeing the sun all the time. And so I started doing a lot of landscape paintings, very abstract. Um, and and they were large paintings. So I had fun doing all of those. That I recently just had in my retrospective show at the MOCNA in Santa Fe. Um, so um, a lot of abstract landscape paintings, and again thinking about ceremonies of Hopi. And then later on, I started doing monotypes. And Michael McCabe, who's a master printer here in Santa Fe, uh, I work with him when I go print. Uh, um, uh, he kind of knows how the way I think about creating my artwork, so it's really good when we work together. Um, so I do a lot of monoprints, and I also like to do collages. So I do painting and collage on a small scale now. Um, but the, my daughter Tatiana Lamahavtua singer, she curated a show at the museum at the MOCNA about the Choctaw people, and so I uh, I didn't know much about the Choctaw ways until um, she curated that show, and then I started doing research. And um, on my first sabbatical, I wanted to go do a mound research, but I wasn't able to. That's when my brother passed away, so everything shifted. I couldn't do it then. But on the second sabbatical that I had, I America Meredith, who's a former student of mine, a Cherokee from Oklahoma, I asked her, "Do you want to go on a mound trip with me?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." So she planned the whole trip out. We started out with Spiral Mound in Oklahoma, northeastern Oklahoma, and we drove all the way to North Carolina. But we visited all these different mound sites. Of course, we had to go to Mississippi, the original Choctaw mound site, Mother Mound, we call it Mother Mound Nanawaya, and then we visited all these other states along the way, the different mounds, and then all the way to North Carolina, which was to her Mother Mound site in Cherokee, North Carolina. So my work has kind of shifted. I do Southeast and I also do Southwest, and I'm trying to, merge the two together. There's a lot of symbolism that's similar, so I'm trying to figure out a way to pull them all together.
Mm.
There's also other cultures that, again, that I've studied along the way. So uh, a lot of those symbolism. Some of them are really universal, like the spiral and the concentric circle. Um, there's a lot of similarities in other cultures as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. The the sign for forever, nonstop. The Maoris have that, and certainly the Aborigines have the aerial view looking down, Dreamtime. I think that's really fascinating art that I've seen a lot of. So since we're running out of time, and I want to let some people come in and say hi to you and ask you some questions, I'm not sure who's all here tonight, but I just wanted to leave you with one last question. What is your definition for thriving in purpose?
Keep strong and keep going. And pray every day. That's what I do.
That's that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's we're definitely on a prayer with this trip here in Chinle. It's a prayer, and that's good. That's good. Thank you very much, Linda.
Yeah.
And before did you want to say anything before we turn it over to Elena?
I was just going to say prayers to you too for keeping it strong as well.
Yes, we wouldn't be doing any of this without all of you. Thank you. Without the artists, without the elders. Our most sacred hat goes off to our elders, most sacred in our heart. I have so much respect for you, Linda, for being 60 years strong, making art and still going. That is like unshakable. That's like my best friend Richard Erdos, Erdoes. He passed on July 14th, 2007 at 96. And he published his last book at age 92 and stayed working for the New Yorker until his mid-90s. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Much respect to you. Thank you so much. And I'm not sure how to say thank you in your language, but right here in Navajo country, we will say, Ahiet, Ayisabeh. Big thank you from the heart all the way. I'm going to pass it over to our beautiful Maori Samoan, beautiful being here that's on the Navajo Nation with all her ancestors here with us on the Navajo Nation, gracing us here. Thank you.
Thanks
Go ahead,
for
Elena.
that, Tash, and
Willie.
huge shout out to you,
Squally.
Linda. Thank you so much. We couldn't have anyone better in celebrating Women's History Month with the archive of experiences that you come with, not only as an educator that you've shared with us this evening, but also the art that you have done that has influenced so many people here on Turtle Island and throughout the world. So thank you so much for your decades of your love, your joy, and sharing it with many. I know when we were telling people that you're our guest on the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle, people were saying, oh, I remember, or she influenced me, or, just all these amazing stories of how you have influenced many people. So thank you so much for that. Just before we get into our questions, what I'm going to do is a slight commercial break. What is happening next month that we are super duper excited about? Wednesday the 3rd, the third Wednesday of each month, we beam out the Wisdom Circle. This evening that we had the incredible Linda Lomahaftua that has joined us, bestowing her incredible wisdom of the journey that she has been able to generously share with so many people that have also influenced Tash and myself. Next month in April, same time, same channel, we have the extraordinary Ramona Emerson, who is an award-winning film maker. She is Dene, and what is exciting, on April the 7th, she will be launching her very first book, so she'll be coming into the Wisdom Circle, not only sharing about her films, but also her debut book that is called Shutter.
Like
and
the camera shutter.
One of the people that we had on the Wisdom Circle that we also shared, Tommy Orange, that you can see in our archives, as well as Linda, who will be available in the next coming week. So be sure to do that. You can see that at IndigenousWays.org, all in our archives. Tommy Orange, who is an international best-selling author who did There. He was on and will be in the archives. He said, Shutter is utterly unputdownable. He goes on to say, to the brim with beautiful writing. It is fun, funny, and chilling. This is a story that won't let go. You won't let go long after you have finished.
Wow.
So please join us next month in April with the extraordinary Ramona Peter Emerson, who'll be sharing about her debut book. Also, we have over 145 Native American elders, wisdom keepers, artists like the incredible Linda Loma Haftua, who are in our archive. So if this is your first time here, thank you for blessing us with your synergy, love, and blessings. But you can go and check out who has been in the archives. Go to our website, IndigenousWays.org, and there you'll be able to see them. Also, this is possible because of our extraordinary sponsors at the moment who have been sponsoring us. We want to give a big shout out to the National Endowment of the Arts, the New Mexico Arts, New Mexico Humanities Council, the New National Endowments of Humanities, the Northern Rio Grande National Heritage Area, and also West Ave. So we're really grateful for our funders, our sponsors, also you, our individual donors, and the foundations that have made this possible. We've been doing this twice a week and now going to monthly since the 1st of April. All of our shows have had ASL interpreters. Tonight, joining us now is Tristan and also Chris Esiando, are making access available to all. All our events have been free, so it is available for everyone, and we're grateful for all of our donors, our sponsors, making this available. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Another thing that we wanted to share and want you to write these dates down. So starting May the 18th, so again, this is the third Wednesday of each month, put down these events, because what we're going to be doing is doing live and online events, so a hybrid event. So actually where we are now on the reservation in Chinle is fantastic because there's very little reception, so we're actually beaming out through our phone. We've got our back-end team, Destiny Rushing, who is here. Yay! And one thing that we learned, and I'm just going to say this, so mark this, Destiny, because we're doing it live in a park, so bringing all the families and non-profits and businesses, food vendors, we're doing it in different parks around Santa Fe, also keeping all our incredible online people that we have been able to meet throughout the 2 years. We want to keep you, so that's why it's important we're doing a hybrid event, which is very different when you're in a studio or have great reception. So one of the things, Destiny, is getting a host that is also Tash is saying go on to the anyway. I'm excited because what I'm seeing is even though it's in and out on the phone on what we're doing on the laptop, on our iPad it's been solid. So there's a secret sauce here which we've been trying to figure out, which is great. So we're really grateful. Hopefully by now you've put down all the dates. It's a family affair in park, so you bring your blanket, your picnic, or if you're joining us in the stream, it's for 3 hours, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So you can either join us live in the parks or visit Santa Fe and come into these different parks on the dates that you can see. We want to see you. We've got all sorts of wonderful things happening. We'll tell you more next month in April when we're closer to that. So we're excited about that. And then lastly, our donation page. If you're able to donate, we've got our PayPal, our Venmo, or on our online IndigenousWays.org. You'll see a donate button there, or else we've got our postal. So with that, Destiny, if you can kind of prompt people to turn on their wonderful cameras. This is that great time now for our people in Zoom. If you want to come and say g'day or speak to the legendary Linda Loma Haftua, now's the time. If you're in our social media, Amy that was there said thank you so much for blessing us, Linda. So if you've got a message that you want to share in our social media, please do that. Send a little message to Linda and all of us, because we want to be able to say hi to you and all of those wonderful things too. So in saying that, Tash.
All right, that was a mouthful. Thank you very much, Elena. She's got all this stuff going on. She's got the MacBook Pro down here. She's got the whatever that is over there. We've got you over here. I've got this on airplane mode so it doesn't mess up the Wi-Fi signal. So it's all working out tonight. I am very grateful. Let's start with Laura Kolb. And she's asking, she'd like to, this is our sister from Ohio, and she's also an artist, and she works with Native American deaf, hard hearing, and blind people in the city, and she has this beautiful workshop with a bunch of art that she presents for healing and recovery. So hello, Sister Laura, Deaf Think Positive. She wants to see some of your artwork, Linda. Can you tell her where to go, or can you like grab one of your paintings real quick and go like this?
I don't have anything right here, but let's see. I'm in the Gallery Hojo in Albuquerque. So you can look that up. My retrospective show will be traveling, but it won't. It's on hold for right now because just everything happened with the pandemic schedule. So it's on hold for a while. It'll start to tour, I think, 2024, and hopefully a catalog will be out by then.
All right, that sounds great. Okay, Laura, there's your answer. Thank you, Laura. We love you. We miss you. So next question, Carla from Albuquerque. Carla M., would you like to say hi to Linda?
Yes. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
I got so much out of your history and just what you have contributed, and being in San Francisco and on the ground floor and just everything. And I'm just so impressed. I just have enjoyed it so much. And can you tell me again the name of the gallery in Albuquerque?
It's Gallery Hojo. It's
Okay.
at the what's that? What's the name of that hotel? It's in the hotel area.
I know where it is, by Starbucks. Hang
Oh,
on, here it comes. I bet I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night.
Nativo.
No, Chaco. It's across from Sawmill, the Sawmill building.
Oh, is it the Sheraton? Is it at the Old Town Sheraton?
It's next to the
Hotel Chaco.
Hotel Chaco.
It's the Pueblo Cultural Center.
Thank you, Matthew.
Okay.
That would have killed me.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for sharing this with me.
Thank you.
And I'll
Thanks
check
for
it out.
being here, Carla. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for the.
All right, let's go on to Matt. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Let's go to Matthew.
I didn't really have a question, but
Okay.
Linda, I used to hear that you used to lock your students out of class when they were late, and as a professor, I'm just really curious about this.
Well, wait, what did you, I didn't hear it say it again.
No Indian time for you, huh, Linda?
No,
There you go, Matthew.
I heard stories that you used to lock the door if students were late, and I want to do that so badly as a professor, but I'm just worried that I would like cross a line that I can't anymore. So I want to hear about that.
Okay, I did that on critique day. You have to be there on time when critique starts because I don't like interruptions. I didn't like interruptions, but yeah, so that's when I lock the door.
It's a good idea. I tell my students in sophomore seminar that like you gotta like suit up and show up and be there. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry I never took one of your classes, Linda. Unless anybody has anything more to say, we are going to love and leave you all.
just before we love and leave you all, I just want to, oh, and then Tarini says, beautiful program. Thank you. Thanks, Tarini. Really grateful for all our Zoomsters coming in. Really appreciate you all here with us at this moment, whether you're joining us live through our social media platforms or watching the recording, which will be on our website. So thank you so much for your time and essence and blessing us. We've got this wonderful makeshift studio that we've done because we're sitting in a truck in the car park.
The mouth of Canyon de Chelly.
The mouth of Canyon de Chelly. We're very impressed because last time we did this, we were in and out, but we've got a different host, which is really wonderful. We're here on the Navajo Nation for the week simply because we've been delivering over 1,000 pounds of organic pork and beef, thanks to a wonderful person, Steve, who donated it from Santa Fe. So we've been grateful to visit all the elders in the remote areas.
I'd like to just clarify. Let's take that word organic out and just say Steve has a farm between Santa Fe and Pecos out towards the canyon, Cito Canyon, and he has a whole herd of pigs and cattle. He feeds them very, very good grains, top of the line stuff. He grows it, and then when he meets his quota, he donates a bunch of very, very cut, well-produced, healthy meats, and he gives it to people that want to live sustainably. And his goal is to support some people in Mississippi and some people in the Navajo Nation. So, Steve, if you're with us tonight, thank you. We love you, but we'll take that word organic off because that brings in a bunch of other liabilities. So, it is very good. It is very healthy. And we want to thank everybody. And I just wanted to thank our beautiful interpreters. We love you. We really, really love you a lot, Cress and Tristan. Thank you for the work you do.
And before you thank Linda and close us out, Tash, Sarah, who was in Zoom and wanted to say this, so I got to catch it before it goes. She says, thank you, Linda. Great to see and hear you. Beautiful history.
Yes, and I see Destiny Rushing says, awesome program, Linda. Thank you for speaking. And we didn't get to our Facebook page because we're limited with our capacity here. But thank you all. We love you. And Linda, we love you. And Sarah, would you like to say something real quick? We've got a couple of minutes left.
Oh, this is a fabulous program, and I just look forward to seeing some of your art. You have an incredible history, and it's great that you're sharing that with us tonight. So thank you, and stay well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, and we love you too, Sarah. So everybody, eat, rest, get lost in a Netflix series. We'll be in touch, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll be sending out a newsletter very soon.
And on that beautiful note, everyone, let's give it up for the one and only phenomenal, extraordinary, powerful elder, woman, native woman, the one and only Linda Lomohato.
Thank you. We're glad this worked, everybody. We are more relieved than anything. We'll be in touch, Cress and Tristan. Take care, everybody.
Okay, be well. Ciao, ciao.
Stay well.